Hello there. This is Sherry Simpson. I'm a transformational life coach and I'm coming to you from Salt Spring Island in British Columbia. I wanted to chat with you today about spirit animals. And I'm going to use my trusty spirit animal book from Dr. Stephen Farmer. Before that, I wanted to tell you a little story about how fears in our mind and our worries can start playing havoc on us. So the other day, I moved to a new house sit. So I'm a house sitter in British Columbia, which means when people want to go away and they want someone to watch their house and their pets, then I can connect with them and basically move into their house while they're away on vacation. So I'm on Salt Spring Island at my second house sit here for about a month. And I have two wonderful dogs to sit and a gorgeous house, which feels like home. It's very peaceful and nourishing and cozy. And it's in the middle of the rainforest. It's raining today. Temperature is just above freezing, but it's really a beautiful day. On my way here the other day, I'd been here before, but there was a lot of snow on the ground then. And I was a little worried. I do have a 4x4 vehicle, but it doesn't have snow tires. And this particular location where I'm sitting is kind of up the mountain. So there's more snow here than there is like 10 minutes from here. And this particular location is like a double horseshoe in order to be able to get from the bottom of the driveway up to the top. So the last couple of times I came to this location, I had just parked at the bottom and walked up. And so the owner said, the weather's been good, the driveway's really good, you'll have no issues, you can just drive all the way up. And there was still a little piece of me, you know how those fears are, where they get like dug in there and you're like, okay, what happens if my car goes off the driveway? What happens if I get stuck in the mud? What happens? And so we have these things. I'm sure that you have issues that replay within you sometimes, or little fears that you shouldn't really be worrying about because they haven't happened yet, so there's no point in us worrying about stuff, but that's just that human thing that we do. And so there was a piece of me driving on the way here that was like, okay, I know he said that I could, but can I do that? Like, is my car going to be able to make it? And instantly I caught it, and I was like, okay, you know what? You're worrying about nothing. When you get to the bottom of the driveway, you can decide whether you're going to park and walk up and check out the situation, or whether it's going to be just comfortable and you can do it. Just trust your gut at the time and just don't worry about it. As soon as I had that just don't worry about it thought, I was awestruck because this eagle ended up showing up in this tree that was about the height of a telephone pole on the left-hand side of my car. And I stopped my car like literally in the middle of the road, and I was like, oh, this eagle was just like, you'll be fine. And that was the message that I got from this bird. And I wish I would have taken a picture because it was actually pretty close, but through the sunroof it was raining, and so you wouldn't have been able to see it. But this bird was just like a bald eagle. It was gorgeous. It was like really close, and my message was the bird's telling me it's okay. Like, leave your worries away. Like, you're not going to have any issues. And I instantly got the message and was like, thank you. And literally when I got into the driveway, I drove all the way up. Everything was perfect. I got into the house. The dogs were fine. I was fine. No issue whatsoever. But I totally appreciate that. I said to myself, it's okay. It's going to be fine. You worry about it when the situation comes, because there's no point in worrying about it right now. And boom, the eagle was right there. So I wanted to pop in to this book and let you know what the eagle's message is. So if you've never seen these books before, this is a spirit animal guide. And so the message says, there's an opportunity for you that you're considering, and it would be best if you take advantage of it soon. That one is not quite my message. That one doesn't feel right. The next one says, there will be a new beginning in a positive direction following a recent period of strife, one in which you've gained a great deal of stamina and resilience. That one hits home, but not for this situation. The next one is more so. It says, detach and rise above the mundane so that you're able to see your life and circumstances with a broader perspective and greater vision. And that one to me partly answers my question or my situation, because I was actually worried about stuff that hadn't happened yet. So I was worried about, can I get my car up the driveway? Which, like, obviously I was looking for a broader perspective on, like, everything's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. Wait until you get into that situation. See it from a greater vision. And obviously an eagle is a greater vision. So that answers part of the question already. And the next part says, it's time for a great spiritual awakening, one where you experience a greater connection to the divine. I see eagles all the time, and I know that's happening, so that's a different message, but one that the eagles have been bringing to me for quite a few weeks, actually. This is an important time to communicate with the divine for creative inspiration, so heed any guidance you receive. That one I totally understand too. So the idea that birds and animals bring you guidance, and that divine animals and divine connections bring you guidance, is a big one for me. So I was looking for some "it'll be fine" message, and the bird ended up showing up and giving me that "it'll be fine" message. And the next part is even more so. Whatever you put out, positive or negative, will now return to you in some form more quickly than ever. So I was putting out this message about fear. I was putting out this message of, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. I don't know. And the fear creeps in. And then instantly I stopped myself and I caught it. And I said, no. There's no need to worry about this. I'll worry about it at the time. And it was as though this bird showed up in this, like, form that I wasn't expecting and said, you've got this. So that's really cool. So you can use birds and messages like this in order to bring more messages in for you. So if you're not used to looking for messages or getting guidance, then one of the things I recommend that you do, everybody says meditate or visualize or whatever, or journal, but a lot of times you need to have some focus, and you need to ask the questions, and then you need to get yourself into a position to receive the answers. So if you've heard me talk before, you know that I talk a lot about you can't find your keys from a place where they're lost. So if I'm here and I've lost my keys and I've lost my keys and I've lost my keys and I can't find my keys, then you'll never find your keys, because you're looking at the keys as a problem that you don't have a solution for. As soon as you step into the perspective or the mindset of, it's not a big deal, I'll find my keys. I know where they are, they'll just come to me. My keys are already found, it's no big deal. Then you're automatically in the position of the solution, and boom, you'll find your keys. So when the same thing comes with clarity and intuition. So if you are expecting an answer to come, or feeling like you don't have clarity, or feeling like I don't know what the answer is, then you don't want to go into journaling or into meditation with that perspective, because then the meditation and the journaling is going to give you, I don't know what the answer is, which doesn't make sense, because internally your guidance system knows what the answer is. Your guidance system knows what is for your highest and greatest good, and what your next step along your path and purpose is right now. So how do you get into that space? So in order to do that, you would actually do a little bit of journaling first about what it is you want, or what you want clarity on. And so that's that position of asking the question, what is it do I want? What is it that I'm open to receiving? And so you don't want to stay in a place of my keys are lost, but you want to be open to a place of, what is the solution I'm looking for? What is the answer I'm looking for? And base the stuff that you're journaling about on, I know that I'm capable of receiving a solution. I know that my highest and greatest good is always available. I know that I can, I'm capable and deserving of receiving this information, and of finding the clarity and creating the clarity and creating what I want with my source and my highest self for the greatest good. So then what you would do after you did a little bit of journaling about what you want, then you would actually do a little bit of meditation or relaxation or go on a hike. Because what happens is, when you have asked that question and you've gotten into that space of the solution is there, I know there's something available that's for my highest and greatest good. It's likely not what I'm expecting it to be, but I'm going to be open to receiving the solution. and then you go do something else. So literally, you could even go take a shower, you could go take a nap, or you could like take a hike in nature, or then do your meditation or your yoga or whatever. Because as soon as you disconnect from that place of I need to find the solution, you move into that place of here's some possible solutions. What do you think? And then likely while you're in the shower, while you're taking a nap, or while you're doing whatever, you're then percolating all of these things, and then boom, your answers come in. So allow yourself to ask, and then allow yourself to release and send out that request by moving into a different space of doing something that you love or appreciate or adore. So that is my message for you today. I'm going to pull a couple of animal tarot cards just to see if there's any more guidance about connecting with our guidance. So I'm going to pull the first card from the Animal Wisdom Tarot. This is Dawn Brunke, and I really hope I'm pronouncing her name right. I should look that up. This is a wonderful deck of cards. I really like them. And I am looking for a card through my guides and angels that is for the greatest good of anyone who is watching this message today. So if you don't know me, I'm a transformational life coach. I have a computer science degree and a master's in human kinetics, and I've also have been a registered massage therapist and a yoga teacher. So I have all of these all of these tools in my backpack, and I am connecting with my guides at this point in time to bring you some guidance. I can do that through your guides, through psychic tarot readings, and through intuitive guidance readings. So you can check in with what is available on yltcoaching.com, which is my store. So if you're looking for like a psychic reading, or if you're looking for intuitive guidance, or some medical intuition stuff going on with your body or with your health. In the past, I healed my own autoimmune condition, so I have a lot of things that I offer my clients. This one wants to come up. Based on information. So what do we have here? We got the Peacock, which is the Illuminator. So here is the Illuminator card. What a gorgeous peacock. And this makes me think that this peacock's tail is actually the light, and this peacock has the ability to light the way by connecting in with source and bringing the information to us. And this literally makes me think that oh, I love that too. Look at that. The peacock is actually looking at its own reflection, and it's looking at the fish, or the star, sorry, in the water. So this makes me think that your guidance is actually from within, but if you think that you don't have the guidance, then it's not available. So what this message is telling me is we have a tendency to look around us at everyone else for what our guidance is, and so we're often asking everyone, should I do this? What should I do? What would you do? And this is telling me that looking within ourselves and actually trusting that the light within us and the light connecting us to source is actually where our guidance lies. And if we allow ourselves to connect more to source and to connect more to our inner selves through the journaling and through the yoga and the meditation and all of those things, after we get into a place of this is the solution I am seeking, this is the clarity I'm looking for, and so you're in a place of I'm open to receiving rather than a place of I have no idea, and then that really connects you in with your own guidance and the guidance for your highest self and the guidance that is for your highest and greatest good and the highest and greatest good of all. And I like the colors within this because obviously it's nature with the green, and that's a heart-centered color. And the purple has to do with our connection to source, and our third eye color is in there as well, which is our intuition and our guidance. So I like that. I'm going to check this in the book and see if the Peacock Illuminator has any other messages for us. So what I do when I am reading messages is listen to my own guidance. I also look a lot at the cards and read the pictures and the images and the colors and the way that the animal is facing and whether it's looking at itself and where the light is coming from and all those types of things. So looking at the card as being more creative rather than, oh, it's a peacock. Because, a peacock, might not mean anything to some people. But if you open up to allowing more guidance through what you see, what you feel, what you hear, if you get your guidance that way. This is actually the star card in traditional tarot. So the star card is about hope and beauty and peace and guidance and harmony. And the message is about trusting signs of illumination and following the light of the truth. So I really like this because a lot of times we will not trust our own guidance when we get it. So even if things seem sort of ludicrous, we sort of brush them off because we're like, oh, logically that doesn't make sense. A lot of times our internal guidance and things that are for our highest and greatest good, they don't make sense. And that's okay. That's totally fine. Logically our internal guidance might not make sense, but if we feel called to follow through with it because it feels good to do that, then make sure you do, because being in harmony with that guidance and being in harmony with that place of this is for my highest and greatest good and this is what it feels like, is going to lead you on that path where you're meant to be or where you want to travel to, rather than being in resistance or I don't have the clarity or I don't know. Anything else within this that it brings me to? Receiving this card recommends deepened gratitude for who you are and acceptance of what comes your way. So I really like to be in a place of gratitude and appreciation and appreciate all that it's around me. If you haven't noticed from what I've been talking about, then often we find ourselves in places of fear. We find ourselves in places of I don't want that, or I don't know, or what if. And that's not where our guidance and our solution and our highest good and things that feel good are. All of those things are keeping us separate from our highest good and separate from our highest path and purpose. So what we really want to do is intend to feel good, find more things that feel good, decide to feel good, and decide to be open to the clarity coming to us. Another thing I really like about this card is it is a 17 card, which adds to an 8. And 8 is that infinity sign. We are infinity. We are infinitely connected to our highest and greatest good and spirit. And we are, I keep doing this, the figure 8, because we are the human ego self that has all of those fears, and we are our highest self, and we can co-create when we get both of those in alignment with our source, and when we feel good and when we feel balanced and we feel in harmony, then that is the best place to be, because it feels so good and it feels so forward moving and forward thinking and expansive and just all of those things that feel good and wonderful and fun, which is what I think life should be more of. So allow that guidance to help you and guide you today. If you have any animals that are messaging you and showing up over and over again, then you can look them up on the internet, or you can get your own pocket guide. And feel free to connect with me for a reading if you're feeling called. And if you're feeling called to do something like this on your own, then just go buy your own pack of oracle cards. There are so many different kinds. And even just pulling a card out of the deck every day and reading what it says in the book can help you to expand your own intuition and expand your own guidance and help you stay connected with your highest self. That whole connected thing is how we create the expansive way that we want to be, and how we move into life in a greater, fuller way, and how we lead ourselves and others more to passion and purpose, and how we illuminate the path in front of us for us and for others. So it's really about, for me, expansion and purpose and forward movement and harmony and balance and feeling good and all of those fun things. So have a beautiful day wherever you are. I hope that was helpful. If If you have any comments or questions, let me know. If you find this video is helpful, or you like it, or you want to share it, please go ahead and do that. And if you ever want a reading, you can connect with me, and I'd be so happy to do that for you. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.